just for the next couple of minutes or so, if we can just do a bit of Vaheguru Simran to focus ourselves, and because we've been doing a lot of talking, myself included. So just to align ourselves and focus, and then thus we'll start. Vaheguru, 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 I'm supposed to do this presentation of myself. I'll talk a little bit about myself, but I want to really talk about what I've learned since I come to Sikhi and what I've learned from Gursikh, going up and down the country, not necessarily just Gursikh, from lots of different people, from Bhai, from Bhai, from many people that I have the privilege to meet. People with gears, people without gears, and it's I've called it the path of contemplation and reflection, because I think that's one of the big things that's lacking in our jivans, the contemplation aspect, where we actually have to contemplate, think about what the shabd means, think about what we're saying when we're saying Vaheguru, think about the part that we're reading. So I think that's a card in our jivans, and then also reflection, contemplating and then reflecting, like, how can I put this into my life? How is this relevant in my life? Contemplation is looking at, okay, what's the meaning? What is Guru Sahib trying to say to me? And then from there, the reflection. So I just started talking about myself because I was supposed to be talking about this. When I was younger, I didn't grow up in a Sikhi household or anything. I used to, when I was just sort of typical youngster, like had haircut and everything. I've only kept my hair for just about 4.5 years, and I remember when I was younger, my mum, she used to go to Gurdwara on Sunday, and she used to come back, and she used to be furious because she's tried to get us up to go to Gurdwara first, and we didn't wake up. And even when she came back from Gurdwara, we were still asleep. And then like she goes, "Sorry, look, I see." And then watch this, even though they weren't really asking about us. And then she used to get really angry. So I used to start feeling guilty about it. That I used to kind of let my mum down, kind of thing. And I think from there, I kind of got a bit of an understanding that it's important to go to the Gurdwara. And from then, my concept was, keeping up appearances, you have to go there to keep up appearances. And then from there, one thing I did notice that when I was younger, my mum used to do a lot of part. In the house, she used to do the Simran part all the time. No matter what was happening there, no matter if someone having a session in the other room, she'll be like listening to her part and keeping and everything. It used to be quite funny watching my old birthday videos when I was like 4 or 5 years old. Where you can see like the cameras there on the table. It's like Ushtar, me, and across, and then you can see some like Kirtan playing in the background. So it was quite. Well, at that time I just found it really confusing. But now I look upon it as just like, kind of, maybe it's my mum used to have enough understanding about how to sort of keep there. But even now, when I talk to her, she says to me that, I asked her how much the part did you do to her at work? because she works in a factory, she says that I did so many jabji sides, I did so much job based side, I did this, I did that, and my mum does a lot of part off by heart and a lot of shabs off by heart, and I feel that I was quite blessed in that way, that I grew up around that kirtan. Fair enough, I grew up around a lot of negativity as well, but I think that was a very important thing. And I've written this, I was blessed with the gift of Ribena. The reason why I've written that is, what used to happen is, I used to have, when I was younger, I still now as well, I used to have really like kind of lot of cravings for Ribena. I used to like, I don't know, it just sounds like this obsession with it. I used to be the only one in the house that used to like Ribena. And what my mum used to do is, she used to do her part in the morning. She used to get the pani, she used to put some pani there, do her part in the morning, do her simra and everything. And she used to put that pani in the jug of Ribena, and I was the only one in the house who drank Ribena. No one else liked it. Everyone else used to hate it. Even now, still, they still buy Ribena. I don't even live at home. They still buy Ribena. No one drinks it. When I go around there, I'm the only one who drinks it. And so, my mum used to say that to me. She says that to me now. Even she says that, you know, when that you didn't know, I never told you, but I used to put that pani in your Ribena. So I feel that I got a bit of blessings from that as well. And once I was, when I was young, I was probably about 20 something. I'm 30 now. I was just early 20s, and I walked into my mum's room, and there was some radio station on, and they're playing the shabd, "Seva thori mangan bauta." And that's the only lines I remember then. Seva thori mangan bauta. That is, we do only a little bit of seva, and we ask for so much in return. And I thought that I kind of understood that. I could relate to that, because the stuff that I'd seen around the kind of the Sikhi at that time, what I was exposed to, it was that. It was like we do so little for Guru, we do so little Bhai, we do so little seva, and we ask for so much from God. And that really kind of hit home. I think that was kind of really the realization for me about, okay, you know what, this is a message that's coming from Gurbani, perhaps that there's some other really interesting messages in Gurbani as well. And then meeting the Sangat was a big thing for me. When I met Sangat, when I met Gursikhiinfo, then that was like, people say to me, oh, how did you give up eating meat? How did you give up drinking all that stuff? It was like instant. When I met Gursikh and when I got the pyar from the Sangat, there was like nothing can compare to that pyar. That's when people say a Gursikh would die for another Gursikh in an instant. That pyar that you feel from the Sangat, we're very, very, very lucky. Honestly, if we got Sangat, if we got Gursikh Sangat, I'm going to talk about this as we go on. We got Gursikh Sangat, but really, the only time you value Gursikh Sangat is when you're out of it. It's when you're out of it, when you're out in the world, or when you're out hanging around with the idiots and stuff like that. That's when you really value Gursikh Sangat. The Sangat that tells you that you should wake up on Mithrillah, and the Sangat that tells you you should do Simran and Path, that kind of thing. Because ultimately that's Guru's roop, that's Guru talking through them. So meeting the Sangat had a huge impact in my life. And I just want to move on, and what my observations that I've made, like since I've come into Sikhi, that the biggest reasons for the weaknesses in our own jivans, here I've listed quite a few, but there's many, many more as well. Lack of naam jap, lack of naam simran, and that usually comes down to there's a frustration within ourselves that we want to see things. We're living in a world where people can get things instantly. Just go on the internet, get something delivered like, you know, next day or something like that. Very, very quickly you can get things. Sikhi is a game of patience. It's like a game of chess. So then you have to have a lot of patience. If you haven't got that patience within you, then you're not going to last very long. This is a quality that Guru Sahib will give you if you are blessed. What they say, patience is a virtue, they say. So some people have more patience than others. But ultimately, the more people that have more patience usually tend to be the ones that tend to spend more time in Simran and spend more time in reading Gurbani. So I think that's, I don't want to go into these too much because I'm going to reflect on them as we're going on. Not seeing God in all, that's a very important one. Not seeing God in all. We see God in some people, we don't see God in other people. I remember, I always use this example. I remember this, there was a serial killer. I don't know if anyone used to watch programs about serial killers. I used to, not now. There was a guy called the Green River Killer, and he killed about 50 women in America. And what happened was, he was in court, and when he was in court, all the victims were coming, all the victims' families were coming and saying that, oh, you're this, you're going to go to hell, all that. And the Banda was just sitting, he was just standing there stone-faced in the court, while all these different victims' families were coming and like swearing at all this stuff, they were saying everything, and he was just there. Some Christian Banda came there, he said, I think he had raped and killed his daughter, I think. The Christian Banda just stood in the dock, and he stood there and he said that, because what can I say? He says that, I'm a Christian, and in Christianity it teaches us to forgive. Doesn't give you any other conditions. Doesn't give you any other conditions. It just says, whatever person's done, you should learn to just forgive. So, I forgive you. And the Banda heard that, and he just burst out crying. He felt that, what that person has said, that hit him so hard, that obviously the Banda probably never had anyone kind of give him the light of day, this murderer, and he burst out crying. You can still see the video on the internet, I think. And that was the sign of someone who's just like seeing God in all. Doesn't matter, doesn't disregard, doesn't discriminate in anything. So I think that's one thing that I'm going to talk about in a moment as well. Not willing to fight your mind. Just give up really easily, give up really quickly. Weak relationship with the Gurbani. This is very an important point. We have to think about how much time do we spend actually reading Gurbani in comparison to, we're learning about other things every day, watching the news, watching documentaries, we're learning about all that kind of stuff. How much Gurbani is education. You know, we're not called Sikh for no reason. We're called Sikh because we're here to try to. This is a course. This is a lifelong course, which will go on past this life and past further and further. So we have to treat it like that. We have to treat it as an education. I remember I spoke to Bhai Singh one time, and this was when I was Monna. I used to say to him that, Bhai Sahib, you know, my work is really is kind of taking over my kind of mind and everything. I can't focus or anything. And I was Monna then, I said. And he said to me, he goes, Reka Sikhi Kumaiya, Sikhi is your work as well. The day you start to recognize that Sikhi is your work, that's when you're going to start making some progress in it. Because how much time do we focus on our work? How much time do we spend in a day doing our work? Remember, Sikhi is our work as well. So, in that way, our weak relationship with Gurbani, we don't want to learn about what does this shabd mean. We don't want to learn about what does that shabd mean. How many of us do Sahaj Path and try, not just Sahaj Path, reading. That becomes Paraparagadi. But if we're just reading and then we're thinking about what does shabd mean, how does, okay, what's Guru Sahib talking about here? What's Guru Sahib talking about there? And I'm going to give you some examples of the shabd in a moment. So no pyar for other Gursikhs, like for example, we just look at Gursikhs in our own like groups that we form. We have our groups and we say, oh, he's such and such, he's such and such. If we look at ourselves honestly, would Guru be happy with that? Guru say, oh, I'm not talking to him because he's of that Jathebandi. Or I'm not talking to him. Hey, Jatpad di gal hai, same as Jatpad. So we need to look at the same. What does Guru say? Shubh amla bajo dono roj. Without good actions, both the Hindus and the Muslims will cry. When he was asked by the Qazi, who is better, Hindu or Muslim? So it's the same thing. If we say such and such person, just because they're from some other Jathebandi, some other group, that they're not as good as whatever. So that's the same guy. So we haven't even looked at the person's qualities. And that doesn't just go for Gursikh. I should talk about like people that haven't even taken Amrit as well. So we need to bear that in mind. This is the other one. Think you are higher than others because you have taken Amrit. In the Amrit Sinchar they say, Hoy sabne ki rain ka ta'ao hamare paas. Become the dust of everyone's feet and then come to me. Pehla marna kabul jeevan ki shad aas. Hoy sabna ki rain ka ta'ao hamare paas. When you become the dust of everyone's feet, that's when you come to me. So we have to kill our ego then. We have to recognize that we become the dust of everyone's feet. That doesn't just say we're the dust of the Gursikh's feet. We become the dust of Sabana ki rain ka. Everyone's feet. So that we have to bear that in mind. Finding more ras in other things. This is a problem as well. Because the thing is, we do simmer, we do part, we don't feel anything. Oh, I don't feel anything. Oh, that person's clocking it. Oh, that person's seeing things in their simmer and that. Oh, that person saw some shaheed saying and that. Oh, wow. And everyone hears about all these things, and they say, oh, I don't feel nothing. Oh, I do Waheguru. I don't feel it. So then that's what they do. Start doing other things. They will try to get ras out of other things. So they go, Atte pair paunda fire khavd sandre sool. Dojang paunda ke or hai jitna hoye rasool. They start looking for all these things in khana. Atte pair paunda different looking for different ras in khana. Look at different ras in TV programs. Look at different ras in all these other things. And then because they can't find the ras in Simran. I'll talk about that in a little bit later. They can't find the ras in Gurbani. And lack of good sangat. Now that doesn't mean that we don't hang around with Gursikh. Lack of good sangat, I think, put that down to we don't listen to the Gursikh. We don't listen to Siane Gursikh. So people that are older than us, people that know us, people that have been Sikhi longer than us, if we're going to fully take advantage of that of their Sikhya, of their life in Sikhi, that we have to listen to what they say. We have to ask them questions. I'll be quite surprised, be a bit saddened about how there's some Siane Gursikh and no one's, like he's sitting in London Hall, no one's even talking to him. No one wants asking about his jiva, no one's asking about this, or no one wants asking about, I think I've always been quite inquisitive in that. I think that Guru's Kirpa, that I don't mind going up to people and asking them questions and stuff. So I think that's one thing that is a big problem that we don't do enough of. We don't ask people about Simran, we don't talk to people about Naam or Gurbani, these kind of things. And these are things that give us inspiration to build our jivans. So I was talking about importance of Naam Japa. Now some people out there, unfortunately, they take Amrit and then they don't even wake up Amrit Villa, and then they don't even do Simran. I'll do a bit of work, I'll do a bit of it when I do in Ishnam or something like that. Bin Simran din ran bitha bihar, meg bina jo kheti jai. So if you think about what Guru Sahib is saying here, just like you've got crops in a field, just like them crops go without, haven't got no rainfalls on them, that's how do them crops feel? They've gone without, they're going to wither away and die. That's the same way as our soul will wither away and die without Simran. That's what Guru is saying. We become murderers of our soul if we don't do Simran. There's no straight or blunt way that Guru Sahib puts it. Become murderers if we're not doing Simran, if we're not doing Guru Mantar Simran, then Guru Sahib saying that we're becoming murderers of our soul. And some people out there, even Gursikh Amritaris, they say, oh, what's the point? Why Guru Kehna? We just part. We just do Simran. We just do parts over and over again. And even Guru Sahib says, Rasna Japena Naam Til Til Kar Katiye. So our our tongue has no purpose if we don't do Simran. And you know what? I've spoken to Gursikh that do a lot of Simran, and they said, you know what? This case that we got, it has no purpose if we don't do Simran. There's no point. There's no point us having this Dari, nothing, Karpa, nothing. We don't do Simran, koi fair. There's no point. Because we're not doing Guru's main message. We're not doing what Guru Sahib says. So this is the importance of Naam Jap. This is what we all need to recognize. If we want to make some progress in our Sikhi, then Amrita Lautana Jaruriya. It's not like this is not a choice. This is a hukam. We have to do it. Amrita Lautana. Well, I know people have kids and stuff like that. I have kids and all that kind of stuff. Then we just have to try to make our routine so we can wake up. If we don't make a routine now, then trust me, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. So we have to make a routine. And true indicators, people say, oh, I don't feel anything. I don't see anything. Oh, so I know people that have Guru's darshan. I don't have Guru's darshan. But really, the true indicators are these. More love for Guru Sahib. When we do Simran, the more Simran that we do, then ultimately Guru's Kirpa, what will get is we'll get more love for Guru Sahib. We'll get more love for reading Gurbani. We feel, when you do Simran for a long time, and you read Gurbani, that Gurbani hits you. Just like an arrow hitting you in the heart, that Gurbani hits you. And you can't control your emotions. When you've done Simran, and then the power of that Simran, and then the power of when the Shabd hits you after that Simran, you can't control your emotions there. More desire to, and the other true indicator is that more desire to jump around. So when you're doing Simran, and more desire to read Bani. Just like when you do, the more Simran that you do, honestly, you have to fight your mind. You have to fight your mind. You know, you set your alarm for whatever, 2 hours or something, 1.5 hours, and say, I'm not going to move here until the alarm goes off. I'm going to keep doing what I do. It doesn't matter if my mind goes, whatever. I'm not going to get up. I'm not going to get up for 2 hours or whatever, 2.5 hours. I'm going to sit here and then sit here till that alarm goes off. So that's how we control. That's how we try to, and then slowly, we're going to start to enjoy the Simran more and more. And then you know what? The 2 hours, 2.5 hours will go in an instant almost. So, and Guru Sahib says that it's pariye mat papa ke sang oto pehnave karang. That this, if our actions are full of, if we have bad actions, the only way we're going to wash them away is through Simran. Oto pehnave karang. So, we all have bad actions, we all do bad things. So, I don't want to spend too long because I know I haven't got too much time. Guru gives amazing analogies in Gurbani, and one's this I've taken this one from Asakiwad. Guru talks about a simmal tree. Now I don't know if this is I've never heard of this tree in England, but I think it's quite prominent in India. Now this tree, this tree is like a very, very big tree, and it's like really straight and huge. It's very, very thick, and it really, really stands out. And Guru says that but those birds and the other animals, like the squirrels, all that, they come to this tree because they see this big tree. This big tree is obviously going to have some kind of like great like fruits and really tasty things on it. So the birds come there with hope. The birds or the animals come to this tree for hope. So they come with us, but they leave disappointed. They leave disappointed. Why? Why do they leave disappointed? Full kamna ave pat. The fruits are tasteless on this tree. On this tree, Guru's using this as an analogy. The fruits are tasteless. Full the flowers are nauseating. They make you feel sick, the flowers on these. Kamna ave pat, and the leaves on this tree is useless. You can't use it for anything. So Guru's, you know what Guru Sahib is saying here? Guru Sahib is talking about us. We're these trees. When we stand here and we have Bana and we have all the Sikhi Swarup, Guru could be talking about us. That people come to us and say that, oh my God, Gursikhiya, I want to learn from you, tell me. But you know what? They depart disappointed. Why? Because that person doesn't act like a Gursikh. They act like a just demi banda. Or like you could have some like big celebrity. Big star say, oh, I listen to your music all the time. A person goes up to them and they don't even acknowledge them. They don't even give them Jain Rasikit. They go away disappointed. Why? This person, the way they talk, the way they act, is just, I don't like the way they act, I don't know the way they talk. Okay? When I actually get to know the person. But Guru says here, so this is about us. This is what we need to have. About seeing God in all, the importance of the sweetness and humility. We should have we should have that sweetness that, in our voice, in our how we act. You know, people see us, oh, that person's really sweet, that person really nice, friendly, Bob Pyara, that person. Niwi, humility. That person have humility. They should have virtues, they have qualities. In a way that you like, person looks like Gursikh and then he's like drinking shrab and that kind of thing, or smoking. Oh yes, he's smoking. So that's what the sad thing is. That used this quotation before, like I said, about humility. Become the dust of everyone's feet, not just like certain people, everyone's feet. Think of yourself as lower than all. And I just want to give a couple of examples. Firstly, I remember when I first moved to Luton a couple of years ago, and I was I didn't really know about buses and all. I never really travelled on buses. But my car was getting repaired, and I came back, and I had to get it. I had to go pick it up afterwards, and I didn't know what bus to take or anything like that. So I waited at a bus stop. I just waited at the bus stop outside my house. I thought I'll wait at this one, and I'll ask the bus driver when he comes, how do I get to such and such place? And I was waiting there, and then there's a Muslim man came. He was the bus driver, and I said to him. He said to me, Sardar-ji, and I said, I said to he spoke to me Urdu. I said, I'm going to go to Dallow Road, he goes, oh, because the Gurdwara is on the same road. He goes, oh, you want to go to Gurdwara side? I go, no. I want to go to the other side, because my car's there. And he goes, get on the bus. He goes, sit down here. And I said, oh, does this bus go there? He goes, no. He goes, this bus to go there. But you stay there. He thought about it for a few seconds. He goes, you stay there. You stay on the bus. He goes, don't get off. He goes, it's my dinner break after this. I go, I'll take you there. And I'm not joking. It took me 15 minutes out of his way. He drove me all the way to that place. And then he was even, he was saying, oh, you stay on the bus. Stay on the wait till everyone gets off, and then I'll take you to the place and stuff. So that's what I mean. I got that much like pyar from someone, like, you know, people like talk so ill of others, talk so ill of, like, particularly Muslim man. But I got so much pyar from this bus driver that I really, it gave me a lot of sort of, made me want to see God in all, really. It encouraged me to see God in all, this kind of thing. So how much sadaqah he had. And I think, you know what it is? The whole world will respect you if you respect yourself. If you respect yourself, if you respect your principles, and if you have like, you still stay strong with your principles, and the whole world respects you. So many Muslims that have so much respect for me at college and everything in Luton, and the ones that I see, they're all that kind of thing. You know, they go. You know, when I'm at a petrol station, even the Morning Muslim, they even like move out the way for me and everything. They like put their heads down. Like, and I'm quite surprised in that Guru didn't indicate by that. You know, that Guru shows that they show that much of God, and so I think that's very important that we what Guru Sahib is saying in terms of having that sense of seeing God in all. And just give it another bit of a funny story. It's not a true story, by the way, so don't get worried when I start telling you it. It's a story about from a Chinese person, I think it involves. What happened was there was a woman, and she went to a Chinese doctor and said that I want to kill my mother-in-law. And I don't know if you've heard it before, but she said, yeah. So don't worry, it's not real, yeah. So I want to kill. I see some women smirking. Yeah, I want to kill my mother-in-law. He goes, can you give me some kind of a dua or something that I can put into her food and that now? And then he goes, but I don't want her to find out or nothing. And he said that, oh, why do you want to kill your mother? He goes, oh, she's so annoying. She speaks so bad to me. She treats me so badly and stuff. I just had enough of her. And so he said, oh, okay. He gave her these he gave her these green leaves. He goes, I'll tell you what. He goes, put this in her cooking, like when you're cooking for her. And then, but put one patta in a day. Like, don't give her too much, because if she overdoses on that, they're going to be able to tell. Just put in a little bit. But he said that there's a condition though, is that because your relationship's so bad now, if she dies now, they're going to know that you done something. So you have to behave really, really nice to her. You have to be really polite to her. No matter what she says to you, you have to always give a nice jawab back. Even if she swears at you, whatever she says, you always have to give a nice jawab back. And that's good. Because then if you do that, then then no one will be able to tell that you're the one who actually was responsible. So she said, oh, okay, then I'll do that. So she started putting the pasta in the food, and then every day she's putting that in, and she was being really nice. And the mother-in-law thought, what's going on here? And like, she's making all the food for me, she's doing everything, she's being really nice. And the mother-in-law started thinking to herself, I'm a bit surprised that she's actually started to do stuff now. She's actually started to sort her act out. And then the woman was all like really nicely. Even when the mother-in-law used to get angry at things, she used to be nice to her. And slowly over time, she kept putting the patte in. And then the woman, as she was cooking, she started feeling more and more reluctant to put the patte in, because the woman was like, said that, mother-in-law's not too bad now. She started to be quite nice and everything. And I think might know where this is leading, but so what happened was she started getting a bit worried because they started building quite a nice relationship now, her and her mother-in-law. So she went back to the doctor. She said that, because I took them patte off you before. There's that, but I don't mind my mother-in-law now. We're getting on really well. And she said that, but how can I stop this? I don't want her to die now. I don't want her to die. And he says that, don't worry. He goes, I just gave you some. They were just for cholesterol. It wasn't really like to kill her. He goes, I will just give you that. And then, but what the moral of the story? It's not a true story yet. The moral of the story is that no matter how much, so people talk about arguments in the house. People talk about problems and all that stuff in marriages, problems in their families. And that if we become that daughter-in-law, I don't mean you poison your mother-in-law. I mean, if you become like the daughter-in-law, just being nice, just with sweetness, that's the two qualities, sweetness and humility. If you become like that, then everything will change around you. I'm going to talk about planting seeds in a minute. This is what this life is all about. Some of us, we might not have the jobs of farmers, but we're all farmers. Reason being, because we all plant seeds. We're all planting seeds. Everywhere we go, we plant a seed. Everything we do, we're planting seeds. But we're planting good seeds and we're planting bad seeds. So we talk bad to someone, we swear at someone planting a bad seed. That's gonna have some impact on it. Because that person you talk bad to, that's formed something in their thought in their mind, and now that person has that thought about you. You plant good seeds to someone, you help someone. So everywhere we go, whatever we're doing, we're planting good seeds, we're planting bad seeds. We have to remember that. We have to plant as many good seeds as we can. And that comes from that's having good virtues. So, focus in Kirtan and Simran. The biggest rants why happens nowadays in the Langar Hall, unfortunately, sadly. There's more people in the Langar Hall doing their own like that than there is in the Darbar, unfortunately. So I think that this is a key. If we don't take full advantage of Kirtan programs and then these kind of rants and stuff like that, then we're really missing out. Ultimately, the biggest distraction I've seen are things like mobile phones. People are having mobile phones out, texting all the time, or whatever, and waiting for texts. Just fiddling around with it. It just becomes a habit. I say to some of my students, I think he was born like this. I think he actually was born like this. You were just waiting for the telephone to be invented, and then it came in there, and that's it. You started. There's all this. They just walk around like this. All students just walk around like that. And I think this is a big problem that's coming into our Gurdwara as well. How can you focus in Simran when your mind is on whether your phone's going to go off, or you're waiting for a phone call, you're waiting for a text, or something like that? I think that really causes a lot of issues. The other thing is like Langar Hall chatting, obviously. There's a lot of chattathon in the Langar Hall. You go to the answer and that. I'll give you I was talking to some Gursikhs and I'll tell you what they do. It's really quite inspirational. Watching who is coming, watching who is going. People love that. Say, oh, who's coming, who's going? Oh, has he come yet? Oh, let me have a look. Has she come yet? And that kind of thing. So people love that. Sitting with people who are talking. So because you want to talk with them as well. And then you pat on the back and talking and stuff like that. Kirtan's happening. We can't, and then we leave and then we these kind of things, these different things, they'll encourage you, they'll make your mind weak and make you want to leave the Kirtan. Some Gursikhs said to me that this is what they do. Whenever they go to Kirtan program, they go into the Gurdwara, they have langar, if they need to have langar. They go to the toilet, do whatever, wash and that, and they come to the Gurdwara, they come to the bar, and they won't move until the end. Until they have to leave, they won't move. No matter what, they won't move. They'll stay there. And that's their routine. Every dance why they go to, every Kirtan, they'll have their langar first, they do their whatever wash that they need to do, and then come in here and then they won't leave. Fine enough, they might get up to do Jawad Sahib, they might move around and whatever, might sit in different positions, but they won't leave until either they have to leave for whatever family or something, or they just. So I think that's a really good thing that we need to do, because we need to be able to train our mind. And I talk here about the tsunami of Sangat. I was watching this program and it talked about a Japanese tsunami, and it's like massive waves coming up and stuff and heading towards the thing. And it got me thinking about. Some people say that, when you're in Sangat and you're doing Simran, it has a big impact. Like, you feel something straight away, but when you're by yourself, then it doesn't, you don't feel anything. And they say, why is that? Why don't I feel it by myself? And they say, oh, it's Sangat Dikirpa, Sangat Dikirpa. But ultimately, the Sangat is like when Sangat do Simran together, it's like a wave. It's like a big wave. And obviously you can't see it, but it's like a wave of energy that's going across, in an airspace particularly, it's like a wave of energy that's going right across the Dvar, all over, a wave of energy. And for you to tap into that energy, for you to tap into that wave, Guru says, well, if you want to get over a wave, if you want to get on top of a wave, you have to be like, have a boat, isn't it? The Guru's boat is Naam. The way we tap into that wave is we're doing Simran. So we have to sit there, focused, and I mean like really focused. Forget about phone, forget about where you are, forget about who's around you. Close your eyes, focus on the Simran. Just focus doing Simran inside you, and then listening to the Simran that's happening around you, and listen to the Kirtan. That's very important. That's where we can really get maximum benefit of the Kirtan. Now some Gursikh, they'll sit in their space and they won't move. Reason being is that they've tapped into that energy. And that's what we want to try to do. We want to tap into that energy. And so we want to ride on that wave for the whole program. Ride on that wave that Guru Sahib, Guru Dikirpana is going all around the Darbar. And that's when you can really feel impact on your jiva. Another thing is that I've put it down here, I don't know if it fits into this topic, but some of us, we come to programs and we come to do Kirtan, or we come to do something, we don't come to listen. I remember I was talking to some Siyara Gursikh, he said to me, "Aaj jehde log kya, because ek kirtan karne vaste aunde and because asi kirtan sunne vaste aunde." I remember in Denmark, we went to Denmark, there's a Smagan there, and it was quite funny. People literally in Denmark, they used to come to do the Kirtan, and then straight away after their Kirtan, they used to leave. They did not listen to anyone else's Kirtan, do Kirtan and then leave, do Kirtan and leave. I always had this motto since I first come in Sikhi: be prepared to do seva, mean that you get yourself there in terms of whatever seva you want to do, like Jawar Sahib or Kirtan seva, whatever. Be prepared, like prepare yourself a shabd or whatever, that kind of thing. Be prepared, but don't expect. If you're asked, then that Guru Dikirpana you're asked. If you're not asked, then Tiga, every Tiga. So that's the mentality that we need to have. A few years ago at Khalsa camp, Gursikh was saying that youngsters nowadays, they just come to local Kirtans from Vaste. They want other people to listen to their Kirtan, that's it. Then once they do the Kirtan, they go to Langar Hall, they get chucked their foot over, Kirtan, that kind of thing. We don't come for that. We don't come, if Guru Sahib gives that seva, Tiga, we have to do seva. But ultimately we come Kirtan Sunan Vaste, and you make your Jivan Kirtan Sunna. Ultimately, the Guru Nanak Dev Ji's path is that amazing that a person sitting on stage talking like me, or a person doing Kirtan can get less fun, can get less benefit than someone sitting in the Sangha. Someone sitting in the Sangha, just sitting there, can get more benefit from someone else's Kirtan than that own person who's doing it. Reason being that Guru's only measure is prem. That's the only measure that Guru has, love. That person is listening with pyar, the person who stood on stage is doing it for money. Just an example. So that's something that we need to think about, particularly when we come to Kirtan programs. Try to focus as much as you can. Gursikh said to me, when you sit in the Kirtan, Simran Kari Jal, keep doing Simran and then listen to the Kirtan as well. Forget about who's around you, forget about anything. Do Simran and listen to the Kirtan. And then that's when you can tap into the tsunami of Sangat and get the full fall of Sangat. Guru doesn't say, for no reason. Guru doesn't say that the purpose of, the only purpose you're here, the biggest action har kirat sad sangat hai, sir karman ke karma. That the biggest action of all actions is doing singing God's praise in Sangat, or doing Simran in Sangat. So Guru doesn't say that for no reason. That's where people can build their jivan. And this is another big issue is I find, because I often have to ask people if they can help out with some seva and stuff. So unfortunately, people are too quick to refuse. And I always have like Bhai Rama Singh used to say this as well. He used to say that a Gursikh's benti is like Guru's benti. When a Gursikh asks you to do seva, like Pyar Dena, Guru Sikh says, doesn't matter if you have to go to like another part of the world. But if you can do that seva, tusi karo. Because that's a big seva. The Guru Sahib, Guru Nanak Dev Ji left his family for over 20 years to spread the name of a guy across the world. So it's very, very important. I have so many excuses in my day, honestly. So many excuses. Oh, sorry, I can't do that talk. I've got a driving lesson. So I can't do that talk. I've got a cricket match. I can't take numbers next week. I've got a cricket match. That's the best one I heard. Hopefully the person doesn't watch this. But yeah, that's the best one. So I'm going to chuckle up. Sorry, no, I've got a cricket match. So that's the best one I've heard. So I got some. So unfortunately, that was not really to do with seva, but that was one I've heard. That's a top one. That's the gold award. But then obviously there's other ones in it. People refuse to say about, oh, this, whatever, I've got to go shopping. Shopping's a common one. So remember, I'll give you an example. There was I think it was a Guru Amar Das's time. Maybe it might be another Guru, I can't remember. And there was a Gursikh there, and he never used to do anything. He used to sit there, just like, and all the Gursikhs used to do benti to, tu kuch kar pai, just help us out with this, help us out with that. And they said, if Guru does hukam, then I'll do it. If Guru does hukam, then I'll do it. And then these Gursikhs, they got a bit like, all he used to do is eat kheer all day. He used to eat kheer all day, that's it. Just that, sit there eating kheer. Kuch ho nikalna bas. And then Gursikh wanted him to do something, he don't do anything. And then the Guru came, I think it was Guru Amar Das, apologies if it's not. And they complained to Guru Amar Das, he said that Gursikh kuch nahi karta, he just sits there eating kheer all day. And Guru said to him, and then he went up to, Guru saw him, and then he went up to Guru Sahib, and he done matha take and everything. And he said, and bahut pyar na Guru nu bulaya and everything. And Guru Sahib said to him that, Gursikha, go over there, see that wood over there, get that wood, lie it flat on the ground, lie on top of it and set yourself alight. And he said, huh? That? I thought, Guru is supposed to speak all nice things. How can you say that to me? How can you ask me to do that? And then that he wasn't all there, I needed to do that. He wasn't ready to do that. So, the Guru is saying that whenever a Gursikh does benti, that we should treat that as the Guru's benti. Very, very important that. Very, very important. If we can't listen to Gursikh, I'm not just talking like, like some people that look like Gursikh. I'm talking about people that's got jivan and everything. If we can't listen to what they say, then how are we going to listen to our Guru? So, unfortunately, that's a big issue that we have to think about. I've already talked about priorities. And then we talk about, there's something that's so funny sometimes at camps. I was at a camp and this person said to me, Amar Dadi Gursikh, he said to me, put his hand up, and like, so it was a youngsters class, I don't know why he was there, but he's like, Amar Dadi, down and everything, goes, Bhai Sahib, he goes, do you ever get bored? I thought, what kind of question is that to ask me, do I ever get bored? I said, I go, look, what, the life that we've given, this life that we've been given, this is cutting, like, reducing day by day. You got so much to learn. You got so much to do. You got so much things to achieve in this life, and we got so little time to achieve it. Ultimately, I put this quotation here. Motivation is where a person feels a desire to do something. They feel a desire to do something. They want to do something, basically, due to the reward the action brings. And people say, I don't have any motivation to do Simran. I don't have any motivation to wake up Alhamdulillah. I don't have any motivation to do Kirtan or do this or do that. Well, probably maybe Kirtan is not a good example, because they can see the reward it brings. Say that, I'll do Kirtan and everyone's going to be shabash and everything. But when they do Simran, no one sees that. No one sees that. It's that comes back to the patience thing. We're not ready to put in the hard work to do these things. So that's one thing that we really need to think about. So motivation, Gursikh all need to be motivated. Motivation is where a person feels the desire to do something. They feel they want to do something because they recognize the reward that the action brings. They recognize the reward. And we need to think about when we do Simran, when we do Path, we should always be motivated to do these things. This is the reason why we come into this earth. This is the reason why we're here. You know, I know this is a guy I work with. His Bob there. I never heard him say anything bad about anyone. I never heard him swear. I never heard him say anything bad. Just always always happy, always smiling and everything. I thought this guy, I think he's like quite a devoted Christian, I think. And I got talking to him, and he said to me, he was talking about our lives, and he was saying that, yeah, my life's pretty much the same as yours. Like, just spend the whole like weekends and these other times getting in, like hanging around with at the church and stuff and doing different things and stuff. And I think that is how lucky we are to have Guru Nanak Dev Ji's path. That Guru Nanak Dev Ji has given us such. All they call that person hasn't got Guru. That person hasn't got Guru. I said to the Bunda, that you know in your day, I go, why don't you do like listen to some hymns or something, and why don't you listen to some why don't you do some kind of prayers? Is that, oh, we just do our Saturday thing and stuff. We do our Saturday prayers and everything. We have a bit of devotional time that we spend in the mornings. That we do a bit of a sort of hymn sing in the morning, but we don't really have any set routine in that. I think how great is the Gursikhi path that Guru Nanak Dev Ji says that every second of the day the Gursikh spends immersed in Guru. Every day. A person said to me, one of my students came up to me, he said to me that, sir, I used to do Mool Mantra, but I don't really do it now. He's like about 20 years old. I said, sir, I used to do Mool Mantra, but I don't really do it now. I think I should start up again. I said, that's nice, that's a good start. I said, but then we got talking and I was telling about the life of a Gursikh. I said, Gursikh really kind of wake up on Mridullah, any time from about 12, 1 o'clock, and then they do like quite a lot of Simran and everything, quite a few hours, and then they do like Path and that. And then they go to work, and then in the day they're doing Path and they're doing Simran, and they're doing Path, Simran all the time. And then they come home, and they're doing Path when they come home, and then they do Path in the evening, they're outside, and then they do Path before they go to sleep. And then he was quite shocked. Is this how Sikhs are? So I didn't really, because I thought it was just like, do a bit of Path in the morning, that bit of Japji Sahib or something, or a bit of Mool Mantra. So, it's sad how lack of knowledge people have. Someone said to me, so what Path do you do? And I said, I do like Panjabani in the morning. I have to do Panjabani in the morning. And then I asked, and so like, he goes, oh right, oh yeah, yeah. So do you do Mool Mantra? I said, yeah, obviously. He goes, oh, okay. And then he said to me, what's Mool Mantra? And I thought, now what's he asking me for? And it's sad that like how little knowledge that our youngsters have got. And another thing is that one student came up to me and she said to me, oh sir, are you a Khalistani? I said, what's that? And he said, I said, what's Khalistani? He goes, like the, Khalistanis like that. And she's Apni Kuriya, she's Apni. And she goes, Khalistanis. So it's like, my mum was telling me, like, they're like proper biased and that, they're like terrorists and that. I thought, I don't think, because they go around killing people. I thought this is what's happening in our Punjabi households. That, because my mum does a lot of Path in that. She does a lot of Path in that, but she don't like Khalistanis and that. I thought I don't know where this term has come from, but yeah. Anyway, I'll get a bit off topic. But unfortunately, so I think that's the lights go off after a little while. Someone hasn't paid the meter. Okay. This is a thing that I have, a little table. Hopefully you can see this. It's for us to reflect upon ourselves, and more importantly, is we allow a peer, like a brother, sister, or some other person of the Sangat, to also do a reflection on us, and we'll do that on them. So what we do is like, look at strengths which bring me closer to Guruji, weaknesses which stop me from moving forward, and steps to improve these weaknesses, and finally a deadline date, how you're going to improve this. So strengths will be like, which bring you close to Guruji, you might do certain things and everything, you'll note them down there. The weaknesses that you have that stop you moving forward, you have to put that down there, and steps you to improve. So it's good to do this for yourself, one. You don't have to do it in a table or anything. Some people like to do a table. You can do it in a mental note. But it's also good to get the people around you to do this about you as well. Because at the end of the day, like I said, this whole concept of this talk is about contemplation and reflection. If we can't contemplate and reflect on where we are, then we can never move forward. Because just like with a business, if a business doesn't know where they are at the moment, they don't know how they can improve, they don't know how they can move forward. So this is like same like how we are. We need to think about where we are at the moment and how can we move forward. If we're interested, if we're not interested, then it's up to you. If we want to just go on, keep going, do a bit of bar, do a bit of simmer, and that's it. If we don't want to meet Guru, if we just want to just kind of that we like I'm a Sikh and that's it. And so, but if this is for serious people who really want to improve, and finally, I think it's that the final word is this. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Now, see, the kids are getting really excited with this one. That's putting for the kids out. If you think about this, this is really like it's proper like linked to Gurbani. This poem, nursery rhyme. Rowing our boat. This is a world ocean. We're rowing our boat gently. When Sikhi, we never run. If you make too many changes in your life, and you run, then more often than not you're going to fall or you're going to sink. So row your boat gently down the stream. This boat that we are in, Guru Nanak Dev Ji's boat. Tusi sahaj naal, tusi keep going in your life. Merrily, merrily, chanti kala vich. This our dunya was is a dream anyway. In mein kach sacho nahi. In this dunya there's nothing. This Nanak bin Bhagwan. Without Guru, there's nothing. That's such in this world. So just keep sahaj naal, chanti kala naal. Keep rowing your boat. Keep walking down the path in this world ocean. Keep rowing your boat down this world ocean gently, making subtle changes in your life and increasing your simran. If I go back to that thing, increasing your simran. If we can make some changes where we are starting to implement some of these, try to improve some of these in our life, try to tick some of these off, then that's a real good starting point. Where we try to do more simran, seeing God in all that. Some of these qualities will come the more simran you do. Ultimately, simran will be the foundation for all these. Simran is the foundation. When we do simran, a lot of these will come automatically. You start getting pyar for Gursikh. Gursikh, you think everything of Gursikh. You do matha tek of Gursikh. You want to just kiss the Gursikh's feet. That's how great you rate the Gursikh when you do simran and you think so highly of a Gursikh. And then it makes you want to read Gurbani. It makes you want to understand Gurbani. And when you do more simran, you do Gurbani sort of becomes it becomes the kind of direction for your whole life. And you start to find more and more ras in Gursikhi things as opposed to worldly things, because the more we try to get the ras of these indriya, of the eyes, of the sensory organs, the more that we're not going to get the ras of simran or the ras of Gurbani. Guru says, "Akhi vekhna rajiya bau rang tamashe." This eyes is never going to get tired of looking at all these different rang tamashe in the world. Ustad ninda kar sun rovarte hase. Our ears are never going to get tired of listening to Ustad, praising, Nindia, Ustad, Nindia, listening to all these things, whether it's been in Garni or whatever it's in. Sadi jeevna rajiya kar bhog bilase. Tongue is never get tired of tasting all these different things, all these different types of foods. Nakana raja vasle durgand savase. Nose is never going to get tired of smelling all these nice things, but horrible things. All these nose is never going to get tired of smelling. Rajana koi jeevya kure parvase. No person that ever they're never going to get rajje, they're never going to get satisfied in all these kure things, in all these false things. If we try to keep want to get rasa in our eyes, want to get rasa in our ears, want to get rasa in our tongue, they're never going to get satisfied. Never ever. Rajna koi jeevya, never ever. Peed marida peed hari sachi reh rasa. The only time when you're going to get true contentment is that Gursikh, and when they have love for the Guru. When they have love for the Guru and they do follow the Guru's path, that's when they're all going to get everything that they want. So, sorry, I must have made lots of mistakes in the Gurbani, and it wasn't too much about me. It was more about the things that I've learned walking on the path, and hopefully you can take something away from it. Even if it's just some of these things, because unfortunately people's lives are, they have pyar for Sikhi, they have pyar for wanting to follow Guru's path, but it's these things, some of these things that are holding them back, and they don't, and most people don't realise it. They don't realise they're doing it until someone points it out to them. So it's very important that we have to try to implement some positive things and try to overcome these things, and then hopefully Guru Di Kripa Naal we can walk on the path a lot stronger. Are there any questions?